Because of Happy Sugar Life, I've become more interested in the thriller genre as a result. So I went back and checked out something I had saved on my Max playlist from earlier that year, Housing Complex C, a 4-episode miniseries that aired on Adult Swim throughout the month of October. So I checked it out, ended up getting spoiled about the ending, and yeah, I liked it. It wasn't anything great, but I enjoyed it. Let's talk about it. Taking place in the fishing town of Kurosaki, we focus on the residents of, well, Housing Complex C, who are mostly older people, minus the young girl Kimmy, who finds a lot of joy in the rundown mossy building. However, things start taking a turn when interns from the Middle East come to stay at the complex. While Kimmy is able to make a new friend thanks to this unexpected predicament, the older residents are a bit less welcoming, and tensions quickly flare. However, things only continue to escalate as a lot of weird incidents begin plaguing the complex. Mysterious disappearances, piles of moss, dead animals, fish men, and it only further fans the flames already building between this mix of generations and cultures. With tensions rising and nothing being done, Kimmy, her new friend, and some of the other residents investigate to figure out what the heck is happening, only to discover that these recent events may actually be tied to an ancient legend about a god from another world. So first off, I like the eerie atmosphere and overall mystery it presents, and how it uses its locations or situations to elicit fear or discomfort, and at the added benefit of no cheap jump scares. And I do appreciate the subtle hints of what's going on throughout the series. Some of them I didn't even notice until a rewatch. I even like the characters. The 3 old men who just hang out with Kimmy is just wholesome as hell. This really big guy who is creepy looking but is the most pure thing on earth. And you do feel bad for Kimmy for just trying to make people get along. But once you learn why all this is happening, it actually makes her situation a little bit more tragic, but also a little more terrifying. And I like its portrayal of culture shock and how that can lead to conflict. But I think what makes it really stand out is the inspirations from the Cthulhu mythos. And there's really no other show on Adult Swim quite like it. Or, at least until Uzumaki releases, if it ever releases. But it's also one of those shows. The kind that starts off tame, but goes flying off the rails towards the end. So, yeah, that kind of brings this whole review full circle. Going from Happy Sugar Life, a horror thriller based very heavily in real life, to a supernatural horror, kind of weakened it for me. And I do think it would have benefited from having at least 2 more episodes to further flesh things out. Or, alternatively, less red herrings so the finale could have been more impactful, and feel less off the rails. Because of this, the ultimate twists that are revealed kind of feel like they come out of nowhere. But to be fair, they are built up to somewhat. And I can see people getting lost at certain points, especially when it's referencing its source material. Who knows, this show gets kind of dumb at points, but maybe that's its greatest strength. If you're the kind of person that likes this kind of stuff, then maybe you'll enjoy it. For me, there is enough good to keep me coming back, but not enough to give something higher than a 6 out of 10. And with that, I say, take a trip to Kurosaki and delve into the hidden horrors yourself. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Undead Sonic 89 for his courteous $30 pledge on Patreon. Through his support, both this channel and my second one can keep making bigger and better projects. Thank you tremendously for your support.